Uh, Something is building toward a specific point. And I want to approach this carefully before anything else because there's a quality to this energy that I want to describe honestly rather than dramatically. The title carries urgency explosive, the 24th, strong news, and I want to honor what's actually here rather than amplify it beyond what I can genuinely speak to. What I keep finding when I sit with this is a convergence. Several things that have been developing separately, threads that have been running parallel, each on its own timeline moving toward a point where they can no longer stay separate, where the distance between them has closed enough that contact becomes inevitable. That's what the 24th represents in this energy. Not a date I can guarantee, not a cosmic deadline written somewhere, but a felt sense of compression, of things that have been in motion, arriving at a place of reckoning simultaneously, and that convergence is going to require something from you. Let me describe what the news actually feels like in quality, because news can arrive in different registers, can carry different weights, can land as relief or disruption or confirmation or something that requires significant recalibration. What I keep getting here is something in the confirmation register, not entirely comfortable, not entirely unwelcome. Something in the middle of those two things, the specific quality of information that makes something that has been uncertain or ambiguous or suspended in that particular limbo of not yet decided, suddenly and clearly decided, the not knowing ends, and the knowing arrives with enough force to qualify as explosive. Not because the content is catastrophic, because the certainty of it is significant after a period of sustained uncertainty. And certainty, even when what becomes certain is complicated, has its own particular impact. Hold on, because I want to be honest about something before I continue. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happens on the 24th. Not because I'm withholding, because specific date predictions carry a kind of false precision that I don't think serves you. What I can describe is energy, direction, the quality of what's moving and what it feels like when it arrives, the specific interior experience of someone who receives something significant. What I can't do, honestly, is hand you a guaranteed timeline for your life's specific events. And I think you deserve that honesty more than you deserve the performance of certainty I don't have. What I can say is this: something is close, whether that something arrives exactly on the 24th or in the surrounding days or in a window around that point. The proximity of it is real. The sense of something that has been building finally reaching the point of release, that's real. What it is specifically that belongs to your particular life, your particular situation, the specific threads that have been running in your world. There's an image, pressure finding its release point, not through breaking through the specific natural mechanism of something that has been contained, reaching its natural point of expression, the way carbonation rises, the way a held breath eventually requires release, not through failure, but through the simple biology of what is sustained and what isn't. Something has been held on someone's side, in some situation, in some aspect of your life that has been in the compressed, building, hasn't yet expressed phase. And the compression is ending. What releases has been genuine all along, just waiting for its moment. The more I sit with this, the more I keep finding something about where you are as this approaches. You're more prepared than you feel. That's the specific thing I keep getting when I sit with your energy in this window. Not prepared in the sense of having anticipated exactly what's coming, prepared in the deeper sense, in the sense of having done enough interior work through everything this period has asked of you, that when something significant arrives, your foundation holds. You've been building that foundation quietly, consistently, in the specific Virgo way that doesn't announce its own progress. And foundations don't feel like preparation, they feel like ordinary days until the moment they're needed. And then they reveal themselves as exactly what they were. I want to talk about what strong news means in your specific emotional context, because strong isn't a neutral descriptor. It tells you something about scale, about impact, about the fact that whatever is coming isn't background noise, isn't something that can be filed and moved past without significant engagement. It lands. And landing requires you to be actually present for it, not processing it from behind the composure, not moving immediately into management mode, not converting the feeling it produces into analysis before the feeling has had time to be what it is. Something significant is coming. And the most important thing you can do in the moment it arrives is be there, actually there, in your own life, in your own body, in the specific, irreplaceable experience of being the person this is happening to rather than the observer of it. That presence is what allows something significant to actually change something rather than being processed and filed and continued past. Wait. There's something about the relational dimension of this I keep being drawn toward, and I want to try to describe it. Someone has been holding something back. Not indefinitely, that's what I keep finding. The holding has a natural end built into it, was always going to have a natural end, was contingent on conditions that are now shifting, on something internal to them that has been resolving, on a clarity they've been building toward that has now, or is now, reached a point of completion sufficient to act on. And the action is coming toward you with a directness that earlier versions of this communication didn't have. Earlier, there was hedging, qualification, the specific management of someone who feels something clearly but isn't yet sure enough of their own ground to express it without the protection of ambiguity. What's coming now is past that, has moved through whatever was creating the need for ambiguity, and arrived somewhere more certain. I want to say something about receiving strong news, specifically about the first moments, because first moments with significant information are their own particular experience that deserves acknowledgement. There's going to be a beat. The specific interior beat we've talked about before in other contexts, but I want to name it again here because it's real and it's coming. The moment between receiving and responding, where the information is landing but hasn't yet been organized, where what you've just encountered is still finding its place in the architecture of your understanding. In that beat, don't reach for the response. Don't reach for the assessment. Don't reach for the composure that will make you appear to have it together before you've had time to actually land in what just happened. Just let the beat be. Let the information arrive fully before anything else. Because what you do after the beat, the response you give, the direction you move, the decision you make or don't make, all of that is better when it comes from someone who actually received the thing rather than someone who managed it from the moment it arrived. There's something about what explodes that I want to address because explode is a significant word. And I've been careful with it throughout this reading, not wanting to inflate what's coming beyond what I can genuinely speak to. But here's what I keep finding. The explosion isn't destructive. It's the specific explosion of something that has been contained, finally finding its full expression. Like a flower that has been in bud, still itself, still containing everything it will become, finally opening. Not because something forced it, because the conditions finally allowed it. What's been contained in this situation is genuine, and genuine things, when they finally express fully, change the quality of what surrounds them. Not by destroying anything, by becoming visible, by taking up the space they actually deserve to occupy. The last thing, the 24th or the window around it, is a point of expression rather than a point of crisis. I want to leave you with that distinction, not something breaking, something opening, and openings, even significant ones, even ones that require genuine recalibration, even ones that arrive with a force that qualifies as explosive, are invitations to something that has been building long enough to deserve expression, to something genuine that has been waiting for its moment, to a conversation or a revelation or a decision that finally makes the shape of something clear in a way that allows you to meet it honestly, with the full, grounded, entirely capable version of yourself that has been building through everything this period asked of you. You're ready. Not because you feel ready, because readiness isn't a feeling, it's what you've become through everything. If something in this touched something true, if a moment landed somewhere honest, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me what resonated, even just a few words. It means more than you know.